right, so today's video, we have a Diamond 1 DPS on PC playing Sojourn, Tracer, and Cassidy. To give you an idea on the hero bands, it was Widowmaker, Ana, Doomfist, Zarya. And the description says, "Hi, I'm an avid believer that if you deserve to be in a certain rank, that you will get there eventually. I'm a Diamond 1 DPS and a Master 5 support, but I've been trying to make that climb on DPS since it's my favorite role. I only solo queue, so it's very hard finding consistency in my gameplay with so many variables, and was looking for maybe some pointers on my gameplay to help me with that climb to Masters. This was a Diamond 2 to Masters 4 match range game on circuit, and I feel like no one was really an outlier. And on top of that, this was a pretty average performance on my side. That being said, I feel like this is the perfect game to watch since I'm not popping off but not feeding either, although I was getting carried by my other DPS. I have a big struggle with making plays or finding off angles against a team with more coordination or that are just better than me. A lot of this game, I felt like I had no real opening without getting beamed or one-tapped by the enemy Soj, and it was really frustrating. I'm open to any and all criticism and pointers to help my gameplay since I do think my aim is pretty solid. Thanks. Let's give it a go and see what happens. So playing Cassidy on Circuit Royale is already, you're going to be on a little bit of an issue here if you don't have the map control. So I can already talk about something here too. Like, one, your tank wasn't there, obviously, and it's playing against a Rhine here. So you're going to lose a little bit of effectiveness at that really long range. And I'm going to show people a lot of what's happened on Circuit Royale is, and the strategy's kind of flipped a lot recently where like you kind of give up a lot of the space here. Again, you can play up here and you'll see teams do this. They'll play like space here. But when you're on Cassidy and you talked about getting angles, there's a hero I've been playing more than Cass recently. And again, I love playing Cass, but Soldier 76 for some reason, whenever I'm in these situations now where I have to do like long range battles and I'm not a good sniper player, which I'm not a good sniper player, so I have to play more of like the Soldiers or like the Cassidy sometimes, you're going to find that one of the reasons why you can't find value on this first point of Circuit Royale is because you're on Cassidy. It's, again, Cass is viable here, but with the way that the teams have to play now in a lot of these games, you back up so far that you're out of effective range. So you're sitting here trying to find value, right? But what, you shoot the Sojourn for 8 damage across the map? It becomes really tough to do that. So we're starting to see a little bit of that problem happening already. Again, though, I think your tank wasn't there at the beginning, so you might have held this differently and been fine with it if it was different. So we'll see. Going for a play. I see it. You mentioned you don't know when to go for angles. I think that was a fine angle that you took there to go for a kill. You're going for a playmaking play, you back out, you survive. But like, yeah, it's hard to find any value there. You get rolled by a Wu Yang, that's just normal. And then I think you recognize this on Cassidy. You immediately swapped to Sojourn, which I think is a correct decision. More of a long-range, mid-range hero that can actually do that damage and not be as ineffective. Okay. You got tunneled there, and this is one of the things I want you to start thinking about. Sometimes when you look for a kill, I do this sometimes, you kind of forget about the rest of the map. So I want you to see something from this point of view. I think it can be really helpful to understand. So let's pretend we're the Sojourn on the team, okay? They're over here. The Sojourn's like setting up, looking for some kills. All right. There's now a Sojourn standing still on a high ground up here. See the problem? So while you're like, oh, I'm going to help kill this Rhine, which I mean, could be good, I want you to also think about where you position yourself. See that? You're just standing still. Free kill for the Sojourn and the Mercy on you because you're just standing still there. So try to like limit that tunnel vision sometimes. I was running into that issue for a little bit when I was playing DPS where I would kind of like try to overhelp sometimes. And I would just stand still like that. I might even get a kill, but then I get traded out on it. It doesn't even matter. So definitely look to position yourself. Okay. I want to pause very quickly. Your teammate won the team fight, great. But I also want to be honest with you here too. You could take a wider angle here. Like when you're playing right here, you're almost sitting on the same angle as your teammate, but further back. Don't be afraid of Sojourn to go out here and get map control like this, because this is going to create them to have to look this way. See? So like normally they'd be looking just this way, but now they have to worry about this angle too. So I think you're getting the idea that you know you need to go at an angle, but then you're not pushing to a spot that will be the aggressive angle you need to take. Some really spamming, some damage. All right. All right. I mean, you could be... Don't worry about that Rhine for now. Yes. Okay, this is the correct... Don't worry about Rhine for a second. Okay, back away now. Wu Yang knows where to go. Back away. Go to your spot up top. Yep, correct spot. Good job. Big slam alert right there. Great block by your Sigma. I don't know if anybody saw that, but that was a sick block by Sigma. You can be aggressive now. You have numbers. I see that you're looking for the Sojourn behind you. It's fine. Honestly, just a good play by Sojourn, who had more charge shot than you. I think you had the right idea, but a better play by their Sojourn. It happens. All right. Yeah, one thing you're doing, you're putting yourself in spots of, like, impossible damage output. So, like, you're standing right here as Sojourn for a little bit. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to find too much value here. You're doing what I do sometimes when you play a sniper. You play too safe. Sometimes as a sniper, you need to play a little bit more of a wider angle. Like, you're basically, like, you're not going to be able to get a kill here. You're not going to be able to get the charge that you need. So, like, you need to also kind of start playing a little bit further up. Not further up, but like further angled, so you can hit shots. I mean, heck, if you want to get wild, sometimes you can even go here and take a shot and then back away because you have your like slides. But I think right there, you're putting yourself into a spot where like the only way you can do damage is if they make a play that goes to that exact spot, right? Right? Pop in the Sojourn ultimate to help follow up. There you go. You're being aggressive. You can go in. All right. Yep. Yeah. So this is one of those. I think you're playing safe at times, and I can tell because that I recognize that gameplay sometimes because I have to remind myself to go be a playmaker. And like right there, your Sojourn ultimate, you already have a 3v5. You can push up, be aggressive, look for kills, look for opportunity. Instead, you kind of just stand there. Now, again, it was fine, but I want to point out to you more playmaking opportunities, right? And sometimes if you go and make a huge play there with your ultimate, the other team can play a little bit more hesitant, right? If you pop your Sojourn ultimate, you know, get that kill on somebody who was in a Sigma ultimate and then kind of just stand there, the team might feel like, oh, we can be aggressive against the Sojourn because you're kind of playing it super safe. Like, see how you kind of gravitated back to that one spot on the side there? You're going to be kind of isolated out again. You're not going to be able to do any damage. So a lot of the time you're out of a team fight because you're not really keeping yourself involved in the team fight. This is good. Now, they boop you back. They use a good play, but I love seeing that aggression by you, right? So, Sigma to the right. It's funny that Sigma ends up going to the spot you went to, but only thing I would say here is you can still aggress with these angles. So, but I also like that you were a playmaker, so I'm going to give a little bit of wiggle room there because I think that would be good. Back to Tracer. All right. You're back to your favorite spot, this angle. Yeah. So what's happening is I think you have heard about angles a lot, and then now you're trying to like force an angle. I think sometimes, like right here, I would take a slower approach. I would start to poke. It's funny because you were playing Sojourn here, playing very patient, and you weren't really doing anything with it. Then you play Tracer, you go here and you blink in. But like the thing about against Tracer, and I think sometimes a lot of what happens is you see a lot of really good players on Tracer pop off, so like you want to go and mimic that exact thing. But like right now in this situation, at least in my opinion, I think what's going on here with the Tracer, or what's needed from the Tracer is for you to annoy them until they give up on looking for you, right? So you start that way. Then when they stop looking for you, you go in and you start making those plays. A lot of Tracers do that. It's kind of like a hide and seek moment, not like just run in and use every single cooldown. So I think you kind of just have to figure out more on those exact timings. But I think both times I've seen you kind of play the opposite way of how you should play the character in those situations that you did with Sojourn and then with Tracer. So, all right. Get aggressive there on the Pharah. That's totally fine. Pharah ultimate. I'm just trying to see what's going to happen here. Okay, yes, there you go. Don't be afraid to hit recall. Again, this goes back to something I want to point out, and I can't remember whose VOD I watched of Tracer in OWCS, and one thing I wanted to learn was like how they manage cooldowns. Do not be afraid to recall there. So again, what happens is you're so adamant about getting this one clip that you're basically running at them in a straight line and going for a kill. So don't be afraid to hit recall there. I'm serious. Like I watched it and I'm like, okay, how is this happening? Like as Tracer, and a lot of it was you just recall when you're close to getting a kill if it feels like you can't finish the one clip right away. And I see that happen, and it goes pretty well for a lot of Tracers. Obviously, you have to make sure your recall's in a good spot, but yeah. I can't really. This one was a kind of a stagger to point, so. All right. Here we go. You have Pulse Bomb coming up. Nice stick onto the Sigma. Good job. Good pick right there onto the Sojourn. Remember to use your movement a little bit here. Yep. Don't tunnel the Pharah if you don't have to. You get the Wuyang next. What you do, I see you make that swap. Good job. Hit the recall button. See, you hit the recall button early, right? Not getting the one clip. Good job. Good usage of cooldowns there. See what I'm saying? Like, right there, to give you an equivalent idea of what you just did, imagine if you just sat there shooting at the Pharaoh without hitting your recall button. That's what you were doing against the Sojourn multiple times, because you were so concentrated on going for these, like, sick one clips. Sometimes just the pressure on their backline is the correct play. So I just want to point out to you that there's a lot that you can improve on that side that I think is going to happen. And hopefully this helps you understand what you're doing wrong on your angles. You have the right idea about angles, but you're putting yourself in like spots where like you can't even get any value with the angle. So you need to find an angle, but with good value. Let's see what your plan is here. You're on Sojourn still. Taking some picks, charging some shots, taking, you know, positions solid. Don't be afraid to go left side if you want to take another angle. You can try to play this if you want to shoot the Sigma the whole time. Which, I mean, making the Sigma feel like they have to get out of there isn't a bad thing. But I think there might be more pressure top right. Put a Vortex top right. Put a Vortex top right. You can clear out people top right. Let's throw a Vortex up to that top right. There it is. Took an extra second than I would have liked. The reason why you want to do that is so that way they're cleared out from the high ground, so that Sigma goes down exactly like that. Then you take the high ground. So, as you can see, right idea, wrong timing. Okay. Same concept here with your Vortex. You can save it for that spot you stood still on. Yeah, right there. Notice how their Sojourn isn't standing still up there and taking that angle? That's what I wanted to see more of than just standing up top and just looking down at them. Looks like they're going to tap the point. Their Sojourn's on that angle. See how you're forced to back away because of the aggressive angle from the Sojourn? That's what I'm talking about. See that? No TV? Don't want to play there. Back out. Good retake by the team, but yeah, actually, I think that was a great example to show of their Sojourn's off angle there. It really felt like they were doing exactly what I would like you to do when you're playing those heroes. So not bad. All right, see what happens next. Damn. Okay, see what happens next. Well, they're playing well. Your team isn't setting up. So this has been like an endless kind of like snowball by your team right now, which is what's causing the problem. So real talk, in this situation, you just got to get everybody to reset and go for another team fight. If you're finding that you're having trouble, okay, there's multiple path and routes here that I think people will forget about on Circuit Royale. So like if you find that you're having trouble just running it down mid over and over again here, which at times your team has outside of that first team fight, you also can just kind of like do something like this, like go here, go left side, you know, take an angle here, a pop shot, then you can drop down. Then there's a whole stairwell with a health pack in here. You can actually go up here. This one's an aggressive angle and they can see you, but you see what I'm saying? How there's more you can do to pull pressure off of your team rather than run it down mid in the same spot over and over again. I feel like this spot of the map right here gets lost so much because it's just a newer part of Circuit Royale. You can literally path this way and you can just go up here. And you can even drop as a team if you want to. There's a lot you can do. It can be really helpful in angles. Also, sometimes you can kind of like show yourself here and escape out up here again. This is another spot that I think people forget about, is being able to rotate out again safely. Like if you're getting shot here, like not backing up here, but actually backing up into this rotate up to here and then around to kind of give them a different like change of pace. But I'm just kind of showing you different options. All right? I think it's important to do that. See, like, you're gravitating towards those spots. You're just in the middle of the road here. See? So, like, they can still spam you out. Now your team's taking the high ground. I don't mind the ult timing here. I would have liked to see you wait an extra 3 seconds on your cooldowns, which I think you should have done, because you can slide around the top and then take map control. Instead, you kind of just waste your ultimate. How do I know this? Because if you ever watch me play Sojourn, guess who's going to pop the Sojourn ultimate like that? Me! And I'm learning not to, so... Have your cooldowns ready. It's kind of like the equivalent of... I'm trying to think of a hero that... when you don't have a cooldown on. Like, you decide to pop your Pharaoh ultimate, but you don't have your fly into the air. Like, you decide to pop it, like, right on the ground in front of you. I guess that's kind of not... That's kind of... it's not, like, the best example, but I think you know what I'm saying. All right. Good job by your team getting the point here. So let's go. It's a great analogy. Is it bad to jump all the time? Like what? Spam jump? Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, I would not recommend it. You're going to watch me play. I'm going to do it the whole time. Why do I do it? I like hitting buttons. That's it. It becomes much more predictable movement. You can get away with it. I mean, I still win a lot of games doing it. I couldn't improve my gameplay if I just unbound my jump key. Absolutely. The problem is that I couldn't get to any areas. Like, I would need to use my jump key. So. Alright. Ooh, you know what? Part of me doesn't mind you being aggressive there, and it just wants to say, like, good play by their team on the disengage. At the same time, I feel like this is what I mean by your timings. I think you could stay back there on top of, like, the high ground and, like, keep them at bay, or, like, play an angle on a different side while being aggressive at the same time. Like, that one was like, hey, I'm in front of your face. Easy kill for you. So, yeah. All right, here we go. Popping your ult. Looking for the Sigma kill. I mean, if you get the kill on Sigma, it's good. Yeah. Your Sojourn ultimates need work too. That and again, easier said than done. That's where I struggle on Sojourn, so I get it. What rank is this? Diamond 1. You're right now. They're not even afraid of your Sojourn ultimate. And I usually call those voice line outs, where technically they should be. But the more and more you don't do anything with it, the less likely they're gonna like look for you on that one. But I see what you meant this game. I see exactly what you meant this game for you. You just didn't really, you weren't much of a playmaker, so it feels like you weren't doing much. And a lot of what you were saying is like, that's exactly what it is. You're taking angles, but you're taking an angle just for the sake of taking an angle. You're not taking an angle with reason, right? So I want you to sort of think about, if I take an angle, what does it do for the other team? Does it make them look at you and, you know, force your teammates to make plays, right? I mean, force them to, like, you know, have to make a decision between you and your teammate. And I think that's going to be your number one thing, as well as your timing. So I pointed out some plays throughout this where you can improve on those timings. Stop taking these really, like, close angles right here. This is not a good Sojourn angle to stand right here. Because you're basically, the only thing you can do is shoot at people in this small corridor. Meanwhile, it's a free kill for them because they can get you, right? They have multiple ways of going. So just play, you know, learn like better angles, learn why you're going to an angle, and learn that. I try to showcase some of that, and I keep doing that in videos more and more now to kind of show what's a better angle in comparison to, like, oh, this is just an angle you can go to. You're not going to do much. So either way, timings, angles, you'll get better. You were right on what you need to work on. Now I showed you some examples, so just apply that, and I think you can see some good climbing. You got this. You absolutely got this. If you like the video, hit the like button. You subscribe to the YouTube if you haven't, leave a comment. All that helps. If you want to submit one of these, my Discord is where you do it. And if you like these, here, watch another video. It's going to pop up. You'll see it. It's a square. Hope you all have an amazing day /night.